Well, the diplomatic standoff there between the Tamil Nadu government and the Sri Lankan authorities, of course, intensifying. We understand that the latest, in fact, that is coming in is that Sushma Swaraj on the floor of the House has issued a clarification. She said that the Deputy High Commissioner of Sri Lanka will, in fact, be summoned and he will, in fact, be questioned on this particular issue. The government is taking a very serious view of the article that was published in Sri Lanka, depicting, of course, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jaya Jayalalithaa in a poor light. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj has called the matter a serious one. And while condemning it in Parliament, she said that the government would summon the Sri Lankan High Commissioner and draw his attention on the issue. Meanwhile, the Tamil Nadu film fraternity has in fact launched a massive agitation outside the consulate in outside the Lankan consulate in Chennai. These protests are, of course, over the derogatory article on the website. Of course, the protests coming in 5 days, in fact, after that article was in fact published. Also, in the wake of the ugly diplomatic standoff that is in fact going on at this point in time, an under-15 cricket team, an under-15 Sri Lankan cricket team that was in Chennai for a private tournament has in fact been deported back to Sri Lanka this morning, citing, of course, security reasons. Those are visuals on your screen of the Tamil Nadu film fraternity unequivocally coming out and supporting Jaya Jayalalithaa in the light of that derogatory article that was, of course, published on the Lankan Defence Ministry official website. The latest that is in fact coming in the ugly diplomatic standoff is that the External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj has taken a very serious view of this particular article. She says that the matter is in fact a serious one, and while condemning it in Parliament today, she said that the government would summon the Sri Lankan High Commissioner and draw his attention to the issue. Simultaneously, of course, we're getting you live visuals on your screen of the protest that the Tamil Nadu film fraternity has in fact launched in Chennai against the Sri Lankan consulate. Sanat Jayasuriya, former captain of the Sri Lankan cricket team, is now joining me live. Sanat, I'd just like to get in a word from you. You know, this is a very unfortunate turn of events wherein a political standoff between two countries is in fact casting its dark shadow on sports. What do you make of this development?
Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate that I think the Sri Lankan government issued a statement yesterday about regarding this the website issue, and that has been sent it to the Indian government. And regarding about this issue with the under-15 cricket team, the sport has been dragged into politics. I think that should not be there, because sports and politics are two different areas. So I hope people will calm down soon and separate these two from politics and sports.
Well, absolutely. Sports and politics should be kept separate. Sanat, you know, you've been a sports person for the longest time and you've played international cricket. You know, what does this really do to the morale of sports persons, you know, who are in fact engaged in international games, politics clearly casting its shadow? What does it do to the morale of a sports person, Sanat?
Yeah, the sports person can't do much when the politics is involved, but as long as what we can do is make sure that it's not dragging together.
Right.
So that's a bit of an unfortunate thing. So I hope the cricket is a sport and everyone loves that game, and sport, India and Sri Lanka, we love sport. So no one wants to drag this into politics. So I hope this will be solved soon, and sport remain independent much as possible.
Well, absolutely. Sports should remain as much independent of political shadows as is concerned. But Sanat, you know, unfortunately, this isn't really the first of its kind incident that we're seeing. In 2012, there was a soccer team that was in fact sent back. So clearly the diplomatic standoff between the two nations has always sort of cast its dark shadow on sporting events. In 2012, it was a soccer team, and this morning it was the under-15 cricket team, Sanat.
Yeah, sorry. That was a bit unfortunate, like I said earlier. So we'll have to, if there are any issues, we need to talk we need to have a dialogue, and we have to come to solutions, because without talk we don't know. So if something happens, and I think we'll have to correct from our part, and also like I said earlier, we should not drag the sports into this politics. So it should be independent, and I hope the both countries have realized that, and we need to discuss, and we'll have to solve this issue fast.
Also, Sana Jayasuriya, if I could get a perspective in from you on how this entire incident is in fact being perceived back home in Sri Lanka.
I didn't get you. I didn't get you.
If I could just get a perspective from you on how, the Sri Lankan, not just the Sri Lankan government, but also locals in Sri Lanka, how are you perceiving this issue, the fact that your team has in fact been deported back in the light of this ugly diplomatic standoff?
Yeah, it's a worry. As a sportsman, it's a worry when team comes to Chennai and send it back to Sri Lanka again. It's worries, So I hope the two countries will have a dialogue, and we'll have to talk to people there in Chennai, because it has been going on last few years now. So I hope everything will be settled soon, and the sports need to play a different level. Both countries have been through cricket. Both have been really good. The relationships are really good. BCCI and Sri Lanka cricket. So the politics
absolutely. The cricketing relations between the two countries, Sanat, as you've been pointing out, have been very good, and you've played a lot of international cricket in India too. Now, in your long and illustrious career as a cricketer, have you at all ever faced, a situation where, in fact, political controversies and diplomatic standoffs have, in fact, clouded over sporting events?
No, this is the first time last 2 years it has happened, and due to in our country the war was there for last 30 years, and the government has stopped the war, and it's totally different situation in Sri Lanka now. It has been really good, the security wise in Sri Lanka. So the little things and affect not India, it's only in Chennai. So our government is having a political dialogue, and when we were playing, we have been played so long, about 20 years of my cricketing career, we never had any issues.
Right.
But even though we avoid international games in Chennai, though, even during that period. So nothing has been major, but these are the little issues we've been facing at the moment. I think it should be political things, and we have a dialogue, and we need to solve these.
Well, absolutely. Former cricketer Sana Jayasuriya, they're joining us live and exclusive on Headlines today with that perspective. Clearly, political vendetta and a diplomatic standoff, they're clouding the good sporting relations that India and Sri Lanka have in fact shared. But Sanat also pointing out there that in his 2-decade-long career in international cricket, games in Chennai have always been a sticky point. There have always been security concerns that have in fact arisen whenever India and Sri Lanka have in fact faced off on the cricketing field in Chennai. Thanks, Sana Jayasuriya, for speaking exclusively to Headlines today. Editor South T.S. Sudhir is also joining me live. Former T.S., it is very unfortunate at this point in time that, sporting controversies, political controversies and diplomatic standoffs, in fact, casting that dark shadow, on sporting events. But like Sana Jayasuriya was pointing out, India-Sri Lanka matches in Chennai have always been a sticky point and have always raised security concerns.
Well, there have always been security concerns, but matters came to a head after the Jayalalithaa government refused to give permission to the Lankan cricketers to play in the Indian Premier League in the matches held in Chennai, and the BCCI and the IPL Governing Council, or even the Government of India for that matter, did not really intervene in any matter.
Right.
For the Chennai police to now tell the organizers that they cannot provide security raises the question whether they are abdicating responsibility to provide security to any cricketers who want to come and play in any part of Tamil Nadu. And this also in a sense means that the Tamil Nadu government is having its own version of foreign policy, which is at variance with that of the Government of India. So the Government of India is now, its duty is to address this issue at the earliest, because obviously this has become a sticky point, and obviously sports and politics cannot be mixed.
Well, absolutely. Sports and politics cannot be mixed, but that, of course, is an ideal world situation. Thanks, Sudhir, for joining us with that perspective.